SongCast Radio. True music discovery.
You are listening to Spotlight, indie music from around the world, commercial-free and free to stream. Our featured artist on this inspirational Spotlight is a renowned vocalist and cantor by the name of Pinchas Wolf. We're going to hear some amazing music and also the stories behind his illustrious career. Let's start off with Pinchas just telling us a little bit about himself.
My name is Pinchas Wolf. That's my Hebrew name, Pinchas Wolf. I was born in a DP camp in 1946. My parents were survivors, and we came to Montreal in Canada in 1950. And I started singing when I was 3 years old, jumping on the bed and dancing and singing. And my mother used to say, "Go to sleep, go to sleep." But anyway, I started composing when I was 10 years old. And some of the songs that are on my albums are from what I've composed when I was 10, 11, 12, and 13, and so on. I'm still composing. I have over 350 compositions, songs that I've written, and it's been very successful for me.
So starting to compose music at the age of 10, did you have a musical family, or what was your introduction to music at such a young age?
From my mother's side, my grandfather, who was killed in the war, I've never seen him, but my mother always told me that he was a tremendous singer, and so on. So I guess it's in the blood. And I had a radio live interview in New York on NSN in the morning. It's a Jewish radio station. An hour interview, and they put me on the spot. I can compose a song on the spot. If you give me two notes like "ia" or whatever, I'll use that to compose a song right on the spot. And they couldn't believe it, so they tested me on it. And it went, yeah. It's unbelievable. It's in me, you know. I'm constantly thinking of music and so on, and writing songs. You know.
And you're in Detroit now, correct?
I'm in Detroit, and I'm also a cantor at a synagogue once a month. They come from all other synagogues to listen, you know, to my... I do the service, but I do it with my own songs. It's like they're all singing, they all know it, my songs, and the whole place sings it together. You know.
How did you make it from Montreal to Detroit?
From Montreal to Detroit, I got married here in Detroit. I met a very nice lady, and we're still married.
So the first song I'd like to talk about is Shalom Ahem. Can you tell me a little bit about that song? Am I pronouncing that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That song I sing myself, by the way, so you can hear me sing. It's a song that we sing Friday night when we sit down for dinner. What the words mean is we welcome the Sabbath, the angels that come to visit on Sabbath. And there's 4 parts to it. It's a 4-part song, and so I composed that. And I'll tell you an unbelievable story. I have 2 Shalom Alechems on my 5th album, which I need to fix the cover for SongCast. I composed another one. The one that you listen to is a slow one, and then I composed another one that you can dance to around the table, you know. And that was a very interesting thing. I'm sleeping in bed, middle of the night. My wife thought there was something wrong with me because my foot was tapping while I was asleep. So I told her, so she wakes me up, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, I just dreamt the song. She said, "Let me hear it." I sat up in bed and sang it. Then I went down to my tape recorder and I put it on my tape recorder, and then had it produced. I also have a promoter that's a tremendous promoter that promotes my stuff, and for others, for hundreds of other singers. And it became a hit song.
The translation of that title, is that Peace Be Upon You or Peace Be With You?
Peace be upon you is correct. Shalom Aleichem. The angel, Shalom, it means peace. Aleichem is to you. Malachi Elyon, the angels of whoever are in heaven. And so on. The second one is come in peace and go in peace. And the last verse is Teichem l'shalom, which means go in peace and come back again.
Here it is, Shalom Achem, Pinchas Wolf, indie music, true music discovery on SongCast.
Shalom Aleichem Malachi Yeshores Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malachi Amlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Nay na nay na nay na 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 nay na nay Oy 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 Shalom Aleichem Malachi Yeshores Malachi Elyon Yashodes Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malchi Amlochi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oyachem Lesholem Malachi Yashodes Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malchi Amlochi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Seizchem l'sholoi Malachi Yasholoi Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malchi Amlochi HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oy 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 Seizchem l'sholoi Malachi Yasholoi Malachi Elyon Shalom Malachi Yasholoi Malachi Elyon Mi Melech Malchi Amlochi HaKadosh HaKadosh HaKadosh
You're listening to an interview with Pinchas Wolf exclusively on SongCast Radio. You have several really prominent Jewish music stars that perform with you on these songs. How did you hook up with them and start performing with them?
Well, my promoter, I heard of this tremendous promoter. His name is Yossi Zweig, Zweig. And so I made a trip to New York. I called him up and I said, I need to talk to you. I want to meet you. We'll talk. And he said, well, let me hear what you have. And he said, this is unbelievable. So he got in touch with my producer, who is incredible. And he had me meet him. And he listened to what I have, and he said, these songs are fantastic. So he says, yeah, I'll take you on. And he produced them. They were promoted, and we're using professional. As a matter of fact, on my first album, the orchestration, the orchestra was part of the Israeli symphony. You know, back then, you know, it was unbelievable. You were hit after hit after hit. This, on my fourth album, you should listen to. One of the songs has 3 Hebrew words, and it's in English, okay? And a very famous singer from Israel, his name is David Lowey, and he sings the song, and it became like within 24 hours there were 40,000 views, and I think I'm almost 100,000 views on that particular song. That's my biggest hit ever, yeah.
Another song I'd like to ask you about is Asa Shalom. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And that is that's a prayer for peace?
Okay, the one that makes peace from way up, meaning from heaven, should also make peace for us, yes, down here.
And tell me a little bit about how that song came together.
Well, that was one of my compositions, and the singer his name is Shlomo Simcha, and he's one of the most famous Jewish singers in the world. And he loved the song, and he said, I'll record it, you know. And he recorded it. It's a big hit.
Here is Asa Shalom, Pinchas Wolf, indie music, true music discovery on SongCast Radio.
Shalom, shalom, bimroimo, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu, aleinu, v'yal kol Yisroel, v'yimru, amen. Oiseh, shalom, bimroimo, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu, v'yal kol Shalom, shalom, bimroimo, hu yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, aleinu, v'yal kol Yisroel, v'yimru, amen. Oiseh shalom, bimroimo, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'yal kol Shalom.
listening to world-renowned cantor and vocalist Pinchas Wolf exclusively on SongCast. That song, what a great one, is called Asa Shalom. If you like what you hear, make sure you buy music from Pinchas Wolf. Support this hardworking indie artist. You can pick up music on Amazon, on Apple Music, play them for your friends and family, stream on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. Support this hardworking, world-renowned indie artist. Let's go back to our interview with Pinchas Wolf exclusively on SongCast. If people want to find you on social media or find you online, how can they find you?
Find me on YouTube, on Facebook. All you got to do is punch my name in correctly. Social media, Twitter. They can find me on Twitter. And the promotions that my producer does, that my promoter does for me. All over the world. There's downloads everywhere. You know, they can download me anywhere.
Tell me about another song, and I'm sorry I struggle with some of these pronunciations, but Keladuin?
Keladuin, yes.
When did you write that, and how did that come about?
That I wrote when I was a teenager. And how it came about, I can be driving in the car, and and I start singing a song, just like that. The words I know the whole Hebrew prayer book by heart. So I start singing words from lines from a certain prayer, and so I pull over, I stop the car, I sing it into my phone, and then I perfect it, and I send it to my producer.
Now, a song like that you wrote many, many years ago and just recorded it probably not that long ago, does the melody lines or the music of that song change over time, or is it pretty much the same way that you put it on tape when you were very young?
The same way, you're right. The reason I started late in my life, there's a story. I've been composing I started putting the music out. I'm 77 years old, and I started about 9-10 years ago. What happened was, when I was about 15, 16 years old, I bought one of these long, what do you call a record, a recording that, on a record player, that you can put on a record player. And I listened to it. I went to a bookshop and bought a record, just to listen to the songs on it. And I hear one of my songs, and I was very upset. And the way that came about, apparently, on a Sabbath, I was singing around the table, and and I sang that song, and the rabbi that was at the table was also in the summer. He ran a camp for kids, and he taught them the song. And so I look on the record, and the composer is not me. The composer is somebody else. It was stolen from me. I made a vow. I told my father I will never release anything to the public. About 9 years ago or so, I had my knees replaced, okay? The surgeon came to me after I was in the hospital for about a week because I had both knees done at the same time. The surgeon, Dr. Michelson, and he's an orthopedic surgeon, comes to my room at the hospital and he says, you were singing while you were under anesthesia? I said, no. How would I know? So he says, it was very strange. We were all laughing in there. And he said that the louder the saw goes the louder the sound makes, from the saw, to take out the old knee. He said the louder the saw went, the louder you were singing. I said, and this is recorded in what happens in the emergency room. He said, yes. He says, can you send me a letter to that respect, that this is what happened? And he said, yes. And I have such a letter. And I posted it on Facebook years ago when this happened. So I came home and I told my wife, I said, this is a sign that I have to put my music out, you know. And I in Jewish faith, when you make a vow, you have to have 3 rabbis release you from that vow that you made. And I had to go through all that when I decided to do my music to the world. Yeah.
Here is Kayla Dune, music from Pinchas Wolf on SongCast. Listening to an interview with Pinchas Wolf exclusively on SongCast. So the release that most of these songs that we're talking about is called Shirdai Shabbos. Is that correct?
The first one is Shirei Pinchas 1. Shirei Pinchas. The second one is Shirei. Shirei means the songs of Pinchas, okay? The second one is called Shirei Pinchas 2. And then Shirei Pinchas 3. And then Shirei Pinchas 4. And the fifth one is I took 17 songs that pertaining to the Sabbath and put them all on one on my fifth album. The other songs are songs from the prayer book, but they're not necessarily pertaining to Sabbath. So the last album is Shirei Shabbos because their Shabbos means Sabbath in English. They're all words pertaining to the Sabbath, on every one of those.
That's the record I was talking about. Yep. How about telling us a little bit about another song, Tov Lahoda?
Tov Lahodos, yeah.
Is that good to give thanks? Is that what that translates to?
It means it's good to, Tov means good. It's good to give thanks, Lashem, to God. Okay, we're not supposed to pronounce the word of Hashem Yehovah, which is the Hebrew letters that spells out the name of God. So we say Hashem. Hashem means the name, and everyone who's Jewish knows it refers to God.
How did that song come about?
How it came about, like they all come about to me. I could be hanging up the phone now and a song comes to me. I mean, a tune comes to me and then I put it to words.
Is that another old one that you wrote a long time ago, or is that one more of a newer song?
Tov Lahodos is one that I did, probably 40, 50 years ago.
Okay. Here is Tov Lahodos, Pinchas Wolf, Indie Music on SongCast Radio.
Toiv lehoidois LaHashem ulezamer leshimcho elyon. 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 Lehagid baboiker chasdecho veyemunoscho balehilos. 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 Toiv lehoidois LaHashem ulezamer leshimcho elyon. Toiv lehoidois LaHashem ulezamer leshimcho Boiker chasdecho veyemunoscho balehilos. Lehagid baboiker chasdecho veyemunoscho balehilos.
listening to an interview with Pinchas Wolf exclusively on SongCast. This latest album that you were just talking about, Shirai Shabbos, when was that recorded?
When?
Yes.
It was recorded. It was recorded, came out, I believe, 3 years ago. It was recorded 3 years ago, but the songs are songs that I've had from old, yeah.
Do you record in Detroit, in a studio in Detroit?
No, New York.
You go to New York?
Yeah. My producer's name is Donnie Gross, DONIGROSS. And if you'll call them, he'll tell you he's amazed. He's about my music.
When you go to New York to record like this latest album, how long are you in the studio putting the songs together?
The way I do this, I record the song, right? And then my producer suggests who the best singer in the world would be, the one to send the song to, and the one to send that song to, and the one to send this song. Because the songs require different voices. You know, you can have a baritone for one, it would sound good with a baritone, another one with a tenor, and so on. And then there's a choir. We have the choir. We use a choir from Israel all the time. And that choir records their parts in Israel, and so on. And the singers are from different countries. One singer on there from Brazil, another one from Great Britain. They're singing my songs.
And one final song, if maybe you can just tell us a little bit about how it came together, is Yedid Nefesh?
Yedid Nefesh, yeah. That's a song I composed probably when I was 11 years old, 10 or 11 years old.
Now, when you were 10 or 11 and composed that song, it just stayed in your head for all those years until you actually recorded it, or did you find some way to record it back then? Or
back then, we had the reel-to-reel tapes, You've seen those?
Oh, yeah.
Very old. Yeah, I put it on a reel-to-reel, and later on cassettes and so on. And
are you still discovering songs from back then on cassettes, and do you still have a lot of that old media?
I have, yeah, on cassettes, yeah, a lot of songs.
That's incredible that those songs you wrote when you were a child have stood the test of time and are now finally seeing the light of day. That's really great.
Yeah, but I would have been famous before now, but if I didn't make that vow, because somebody stole my song, and my father would not let me call up this person that recorded it, and raise a hullabaloo about it, but because he didn't want to, came from the old country, my father, and he said we don't want to make issues,
It's really great that the music is out there now, and thank you so much for your time and the information and the great music. We really appreciate having you a part of our Songcast family.
Thank you, and thank you for calling me and putting it out, whatever the way you do it. You know how to do this. I never learned how to go ahead and promote myself, so I have a promoter and a very good one, And you'll be my second promoter.
Very, very proud to do it, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Take care.
Here is one final song from Pinchas Wolf. This is Yedid Nefesh, indie music, true music discovery, right here on SongCast Radio.
Yedid nefesh of Rachamon Mishoich avdicho el ritzoinecho Yedid nefesh of Rachamon Mishoich avdicho
Pinchas Wolf, featured artist on the Inspirational Spotlight, True Music Discovery. on SongCast Radio.
Listen, explore, discover indie music from around the world. Spotlight features all types of indie music: hip-hop, rock, pop, electronic, country, blues, jazz, and more. Spotlight. Listen to thousands of hours of archived indie music anytime, anywhere. Experience Spotlight, the best indie music from around the world. Commercial-free and free to stream. SongCast Radio. True music discovery.